Hey YouTube, it's me and I'm officially back. I am hoping to start posting regularly and actually keep my word because I have not posted in over a year. But I think you guys know the basics of what this channel is going to be about. Mostly beauty stuff, maybe a little vlogging, but today's video I'm going to be showing you all how to recreate this look using the Modern Renaissance palette and the new palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills, the Prism palette. I love both of those palettes so much and I had so much fun being able to dip and play with both of these palettes in this video. So if you want to know how to create this little vampy glam look, just keep watching. Okay, so the first thing I like to do when I'm doing my brows is outline the shape, which is super important because once you conceal, it'll make it your perfect brow. So I start with the bottom and I outline it how I want, and I always have like a slight arch when I do my brows, so I make sure I get that the way that I want, and I just continue to fill them in. What I'm using on my brows right now is the Anastasia Dipbrow in the shade dark brown with the number 12 brush. And now I just bring and I create a tail with the brush and do some light strokes at the front and brush it out as well because I kind of want to create the ombre effect with my brows. Now the next thing I'm going to be doing is carving out the shape of my eyebrows to create them in a more defined shape, and I'm using the NARS Creamy Concealer, which is one of my favorites, in the shade number 2, which is medium dark. It works well for defining your eyebrows. I also will use it as a primer for my eyelids, and it does help highlight. I love this concealer. It is one of my favorites, and honestly, if you don't have it, you should totally have it in your makeup collection. Now I'm just taking my concealer, my flat concealer brush, and I'm just dragging out the product and making it blended into my skin. I'm also going to start dragging it out onto my eyelids so I can use it as a primer for my eyeshadow. I find that concealer is the best way for eyeshadow to really stick, so I typically don't use any eyeshadow primers that are specifically for it. I typically just stick to my concealer. Now I'm just continuing to fill in a few spots that I missed with my dip brow, and I'm just going to start to blend out the concealer a bit more onto my eyelid. As you can see, my eyebrows are already way better than what we started at, and the shape is a lot more defined, and it's basically perfect, like just the way I like it. Now we're moving on to eyeshadow. The palette I will be dipping into is the Modern Renaissance, and the first color that I went into was Raw Sienna, and I just put it on a eyeshadow brush to just blend that color all over my lid. So that's what you're going to take the brush and just put it under your eyebrows, put it up to your eyebrows, and even outside of your lid. I'm using this color almost as like a set for my concealer, so this one is my favorite because the color also is so nice and easily blendable with the rest of the palette. And after that, we're going to go back into the palette and get into burnt orange, but this time we're going to be using a blending brush. This blending brush is just from, I think, the Sephora collection, and these brushes are really nice and super soft, and I use this blending brush almost every day. So first I'm just blending that color into the crease on both sides. It's a beautiful orange color, and sometimes I just wear it alone with some black eyeliner and it looks so good. Excuse my face. I just heard some tea from my friend. The key with blending is to go back and forth continuously and keep blending even if you think you don't have to anymore. So we're now going to dip into my favorite palette, the Prism Palette. It's beautiful, and the first color we're going to pick up is Saturn onto the same blending brush that we used with burnt orange in the previous palette. I'm just going to put, the color comes off so vibrant, as you can see. So I start with a little bit and I just start blending it the same way I blended the burnt orange, and I keep just going back and forth like window washer motions into my crease. As you can see, guys, the color payoff in this palette is amazing, and the colors show up really well, and it was super easy to blend with. Now we're going back into the palette, but this time picking up Obsidian, I think that's how it's pronounced, and the brownish color Parallel, and we're going to put them, kind of mix them together to use on just the outer corner of our lid. And we're using a blending brush again. We're not going to necessarily go all the way into our crease, but just under the orange. Now, using the same colors, Obsidian and the brownish Parallel, we're going to line our waterline with it on both sides, just to keep. Now, after we've done this, we're going to take the palette again and go into Throne with a flat shimmer brush. I love the shimmers in this palette. They are so beautiful and so easy to apply on your lid. The color payoff is also amazing. Now I'm taking Throne and I'm starting with my inner corner of my eye and just bringing it out to the rest of my lid. I kind of put a lot, like I packed it on a bit so that you could really see the shimmer even after I apply any other color. I really wanted you to be able to see how blue and how turquoise that color actually is. Now after that, we're going to go into one more color from this palette, the one in the corner, Lucid. It is like a beautiful silvery whitish color, and I just used it and applied it on top of Throne, but not completely, just right in the middle. I found that this made the color pop even more, and it wasn't just a flat turquoise color, it had dimension. And now I am going to start my eyeliner. The eyeliner I'm using is the Sephora collection eyeliner. It is just the basic black liquid liner. It's really nice. I use it almost every day for my looks. And the way I do my liner is I bring it out just like that to see like almost like I'm bringing it to the point of my eyebrow, the end of the tail, and then I just drag it in. And I drag it in all the way in and I just fill it in, and I find that creates almost the perfect wing. Now I just repeat the process on the other eye. Now we're on to lashes. The lashes I'm using are from the brand Kiss, and they're in the style Poise, and they are my favorite lashes. They're so natural looking and so cool. Now we're moving on to our face, and I will be using the Fenty Beauty primer. It is my favorite primer by far. It is the first one that I really found that when I apply my foundation on it or my concealer, it just works. So I'm just rubbing it into all the areas of my face, my nose, my cheeks, chin, everything. of Fenty and Too Faced to create my perfect complexion. Now, I just dot all my foundation all over my face, and I'm going to use my Real Techniques blending sponge and just blend it all into my face and all the areas of my face. A trick that I use is bringing it down to my jawline and also my chin so that the color of my foundation is consistent with the color of my neck. Concealer that I'm going to be using is the Fenty Beauty Concealer in the shade Caramel. I love this concealer. It is so smooth to the skin, and it also really does conceal. Like, it's something I use every day, and I think it's such a great amount that you get because there's so much in there and it will really last a long time, so it's worth the money that you spend. So I'm just going to take my Real Techniques sponge again, and I'm just going to blend it out completely in those specific areas. A thing that I do when I'm blending my under eye is I kind of switch back and forth so that the way that I apply is equal on both sides of my face. Now, after, I'm just going to put on mascara on my bottom lashes. I usually always wait until I'm done my concealer and my foundation to do this because whenever I'm blending I kind of go a bit rough and I don't want to smudge my mascara at all, so I just tend to do that last. Now that that's finished, I'm going to take my Rimmel London setting powder and I'm going to set all the places that I applied concealer just to make sure I don't crease and it all stays in the proper area. Done setting it, I leave it for about like maybe 2 to 3 minutes, and I'm just using a brush, any brush you can use, to just make sure you wipe away all the excess powder so you don't leave any on your face and it shows when you're taking pictures or any flashback and that sort of thing. on to my favorite part, highlighting, which I'll be using the Nicole Guerrero palette and using the middle shade. Don't laugh at my ratchet palette, it's been through a lot. I'm just going to take this color and I'm going to continue to highlight my cheekbones and just above my eyebrows. I use the color Glow Getter literally almost every day. It looks so great in the sun and it's so good on all skin tones I've seen. I'm just going to repeat on the other side now.